Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a video, so I wanted to do a bit of a top 10 things that I have learned or things that were a little bit different than what I'm normally used to, things that maybe I was just surprised by, so hopefully this helps. Number one, let's see, I wrote a list. Let's see if I can read my handwriting. So this is like the biggest thing I feel like people get nervous about when they come to India. There's the whole infamous term of Delhi belly. I've been here for a month. I haven't gotten sick. Knock on wood. I probably will get sick now that I've said that. I have had a little bit upset stomach, but like nothing that's really out of the ordinary from just like being home. Dairy here is different. I don't exactly know why. I need to do more research on that. But if you are lactose intolerant or just milk never really works for you, I would obviously still avoid it here, especially more so because there is something different with the milk. I don't know if anybody knows, please comment below and let me know what that exact difference is. And then in terms of just overall food, so I love street food, but I've been having my probiotics just to make sure that my stomach is strong enough to tolerate it. So this week will be the first time I have it. I'll film that and show you guys how that experience goes. But yeah, in terms of street food, I would just say make sure everything is cooked. Like I wouldn't necessarily say don't have something that's not, but if you want to be on the more cautious side, have everything cooked. And I know that there is some people that say the oil that it's cooked in could be there for a while, so you want to be careful of that too, but I think it's okay. Like, just make sure that before you come here you get your shots. So get typhoid, get Hep A, get Hep B shots, and you'll be fine. In worst case, you spend a little bit more time in the So the next one is cash. So I'm living here for 6 months, so this video could apply to you just visiting for a few weeks, or it could be if you're living here for a longer time. So I, in hindsight, wish I brought more US dollars to exchange, because the exchange or the transaction fees here for just taking out local currency is very, very expensive. And the other issue is that a lot of places don't take international credit cards, which for me is like kind of the first time I've ever experienced that. Even if it has like my credit card has a chip, it still is not accepted here. So that's been a struggle. We are in the process of getting our own debit card set up, but that has taken a really long time because there are so many steps that need to happen between the time that we got here and the time that we can get our debit card set up. We have to get our FRRO and our PAN form, aware that it's going to take a little bit of time to get that set up, so just come with more cash and be prepared to have your credit card not accepted at a lot of places. When you get here, go to a local photography camera place and just get like 30 pictures of yourself, passport size pictures, because they're going to be asked everywhere you go. Like for everything that you want to get set up here, a bank account, to get a phone, everything will ask you for a passport photo. So just make sure that you have enough so that you don't run into any issues at all. And yeah, it's very cheap to do here. I'm sure many of you, when you go to another country, you'll just get a SIM card at the airport and it's easy, right? In India, it's a little bit harder. You have to show a lot more documentation, so you have to have a visa. You can't just like walk in and get one without showing any identification, passport, visa. Again, the passport photos, they'll take photos of you there, they'll take photos of your passport. They will even, which I was like shocked that they did this, they asked where we work, and they showed up at our work the next day and spoke to us to make sure that like where we said we worked, we actually did work, which is crazy. So there's a lot of steps in that too. So just be prepared to know that when you get a cell phone, it's like not that easy here. And from my understanding, there's two options. There's a prepaid and a postpaid amount. So we did postpaid, but I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I think prepaid might be the cheaper option. And Yeah, I mean, I'm still debating whether or not it was worth it for me to get a cell phone, because my T-Mobile works here, my service works here, so the only reason that getting a phone really is necessary is, one, if you don't have a local carrier back home that will work internationally, or a lot of the apps, local apps here, only let you use an Indian number. So like there's Flipkart, there's Zomato, there's Swiggy. These are all like the food delivery apps. Even my gym here, Colt Fitness, wouldn't let me use a US number, and it also wouldn't let me use my international card. So I had to have a friend like buy my gym membership, and I had to pay him back, and like the phone thing too. So like I guess that's a good reason, because if you're staying here for a longer time and want to feel integrated into the community and be able to like do things local, so you're gonna want to have a local cell phone. So I guess, like, you know, if it's within your budget and it's something that you feel like you'll need, I definitely recommend getting it, but you don't need it here necessarily if you have a phone that works already. So this one, I don't want to be rude or insensitive, because I know that this is something that happens everywhere. It happens in New York, where I'm from. It happens all over the world. But I will say I've experienced it a little bit more here than in other countries, and it's that there are a lot of scammers, and if you're not smart about it, it's very easy to fall for it, because in my experience here, they play to the whole idea of them wanting to help you, and you know that most people here are very kind, very hospitable, very welcoming, and they want to help you. So they take advantage of you knowing that already, and they play to it. So I'll give an example. We were in Mumbai going to Elephanta Caves, which requires an hour ferry ride, and the ferry is super cheap. It's like a couple of dollars, US dollars at most. And so we get to the area where the ferries are, and this gentleman comes to us. I don't even know how he saw us, and he was like, oh, with the monsoon season, we've had issues where the boats don't sometimes come back to the same spot, so you'd be dropped off an hour and a half away, but we really recommend that you do this other tour. And all up until he said the other tour, I was like, oh, this guy like really cares. I was like, wow. 10 out of 10. But then I was like, wait a minute, because then he was showing us this pamphlet of this like other tour, and he's like, yeah, a lot of the Westerners like it. And I was like, all right, hold up, like how much is this? And it was literally like $200 US. So, and the ferry was fine. Like the ferry came and went, and there was literally no issues. So yeah, I would just watch out for that. Be smart. I would always give people benefit of the doubt, but at the same time be a little bit cautious, and just know that when something doesn't sound right and it doesn't seem like the right price, it probably isn't. So yeah, just pay attention to that. Toilet paper. I would carry toilet paper everywhere you go, because I would say like 70% of places have toilet paper, but you don't want to be in that 30% of the time where you are on the toilet and there is no toilet paper. So yeah, either wet wipes, toilet paper, just have something in your bag, and have hand sanitizer, because a lot of times I've noticed that there isn't soap. There'll be water, but like that doesn't really kill anything. So carry hand sanitizer, or like if you want to be extra, bring like soap with you in your bag. So this is similar to the whole concept of like, the scammer thing. And again, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be insensitive to the local culture here, but there is something just to be aware of, and people here are very, very kind. Like they don't want to upset you, they don't want to disappoint you when you have something that you ask for and they don't have, or at a restaurant, for example. There's a lot of nuances where it's just different than Western culture, where in the US, if something is not, if you go into a restaurant, you say like, I want this, and they say we don't have it, like it's very like cut, like black and white. But here it's like we kind of like, they don't just say it outright. And again, I understand where that's coming from. I understand it's a culture that is very hospitable and that wants to help and always wants to make you feel happy, so I know why they're doing it, but it's just something to be aware of because it can become a little frustrating if you don't kind of understand why they're doing it, and that it does happen in general. So yeah, just if something obviously doesn't seem right, it's not there, just like take it. And yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but they're very much a yes culture, yes ma'am, yes sir, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is in fact there or that it is. So just be okay with that. All right, what else? Okay, the other thing here is that, so if you're a vlogger or just like to like take videos while traveling, it's very hard to do here. Like, forget about my freaking drone. Like, that thing is like never gonna take off in India because I will probably get thrown into prison. But even just like a phone camera or like a video camera, it is really hard to do here because everywhere not everywhere, but I would say like half the time I've been told to put my camera away. And obviously I'm not filming like inside a temple in a place that's not appropriate to do. But even just like, you know, before I have a video that I'm going to post about going and buying saris and kurtas for men, and like I was in the store so yeah, I was filming in the kurta and sari store, and they made me put my phone away. And it's fine, like again, it's just cultural differences, but these are all things I just want you guys to be aware of so that you can prepare for mentally and just know, not be surprised when you come here. I literally can't read my handwriting. Okay, other thing I wanted to tell you guys is to make sure that you're only drinking bottled water, and when you're opening the bottle you have to hear this. Have to hear that sound, or else like it's so dramatic, or else it might be water that was refilled into the bottle, so you don't know where that water is coming from. And that's honestly like the biggest thing. I wouldn't necessarily be as concerned with food, weirdly. It's more like if you were to drink water that was just not bottled, that's where I would get concerned. The last thing I'll say is that they eat pretty late here, so if you're from the US especially, we eat around 6:30, 7 on average. Here they don't eat until like 8, 9, sometimes later. So, but if you're from Spain and you're watching this video, you probably like that a lot. Yeah, so those are the top things I would say for now. I mean, I've only been here for a month now, but I will make sure that I keep remembering things along the way. Just want to make sure that everybody watching this knows that I love India. I love the culture. There are so many positive things here that certainly don't happen in the US, so for that I'm very grateful. But just want to make this video again. I want everybody to, you know, understand the differences so that, you know, when you come here you're not disrespectful or shocked or confused by the differences. You're just understanding and accepting of all of it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you guys watch my next video. And I feel like I need to say this, so please subscribe below and like this video if you can, if you want, if you have the means to. Okay, bye.